Mike Talks Fights here. Dana White's Contender Series Week 1 is tomorrow. August 12th really snuck up on me. I thought we had a couple more weeks. I was posting some UFC 319 content on TikTok. I had a couple followers ask, hey, can you do the Dana White's Contender Series? I said, of course, every single week. And then I was like, actually, I should probably look and see when that starts. August 12th, tomorrow. So I went home, I did some short research. Typically, I like to spend way too much time doing research for the Dana White Contender Series fights because we do not have as much of a knowledge of these lesser known guys, of course. But I wanted to make sure I got something out. I wanted to make sure I got something out before the fight started. So I did a little bit of tape study. I looked into the records of the fighters and I got my picks right here for you. I'll go into a little bit of depth, but I want to keep the video short as I did not do as much research as usual. So I have to preface this video with that. Typically I spend a couple hours. Tonight I probably spend an hour or two tops. But this is what I got for Dana White's Contender Series Week 1. In our first bout, we have Christopher Ewart and Yuri Pamfarov. I believe Christopher Ewart is a minus 195 favorite, and Yuri Pamfarov is sitting at a plus 145 underdog. So I've seen a lot of people are picking Christopher Ewart here, and I understand why. He's the cleaner striker. From what we've seen, he has a better gas tank. But Yuri Pamfarov, he looked like he came to fight at the weigh-ins. He was in shape. He looked better than we've seen him in the past. And I think Yuri will be wrestling heavy here. And Christopher Ewart was on his back. It was 2 fights ago. What was his name? I cannot remember the opponent. His opponent was 5-3. And in the round 1, which Ewart ended up finding a first round knockout. So he finished the fight. But he was on his back. He had his back taken. He was mounted. He was having trouble reversing position. And I couldn't get that out of my head. I know a lot of people are on Ewart this week, but seeing him get controlled the way he did in that first round, I just, he got his back taken twice and then mounted twice. Obviously, he ended up getting up and finding a first round knockout. But I feel like if Yuri Pamfarov has Christopher Ewart in that compromised position, if he's able to take the back or find the mount, I think it's going to be big trouble for Ewart. So give me Yuri Pamfarov. It's his second time on Dana White's Contender Series. He originally lost to Torres Finney, but he didn't do all that bad in that fight. So I'm going to go with Yuri Pamfarov, plus 145 underdog. Not very confident in this pick, but after I saw the control, I wish I could remember the guy's name, but he had Christopher Ewart's back for at least 30, 40 seconds and then full mount. So if Yuri gets that position, I think he wins this fight. So give me Yuri Pamfarov. Next, we have a bout between Radley De Silva and George Mangos. Sick name, George Mangos. I'm going with George Mangos here. Radley De Silva, he's a dynamic striker. He looks like a very athletic guy. He's big. He can grapple well as well. But he spins a lot. And although it could play to his advantage, it could play to his detriment here as well against George Mangos. George Mangos, he's young. He's very young, but he is very comfortable, calm, cool, and collected in the striking exchanges. And De Silva brings I don't want to say pressure, but he's relatively high volume. He throws crazy stuff. He has the potential to land big shots, but I think George Mangos is going to be calm and composed. I don't think he's going to be overwhelmed by the offensive output of De Silva. I do see this as a very close fight, but like I said, De Silva likes to spin a lot, and George Mangos likes to grapple. And one big mistake that fighters make in Ultimate Fighting is they spin too much, and we can see calm, cool, collected George Mangos time a spin, get in on the back, and start working on his wrestling. This is going to be a close fight, but I think the composure of Mangos and the striking will help him get to his wrestling, grappling, and potentially find a submission finish here. I don't think this fight finishes. I do see it going to the scorecards, but give me George Mangos as a slight favorite at minus 150. In our next bout, we have Murtaza Talha versus Basingor Susurkayev. That's a tough one. Basingor Susurkayev. Something like that. It's written down right on the screen, so you can see it right there. I'm going to go with Susurkayev. Oh my God. My pronunciation of that name. Susurkayev. Susurkayev is the more polished striker. He seems like the more athletic guy. Tala is pretty big. He's muscular. He's going to look to pressure and blitz in this fight as we've seen him do in the past. He packs a punch. He's going to be a pressure fighter. I think Sasurkayev can mitigate the pressure using his technical skill set, circling out, staying on the outside, not really engaging in the brawl style of fight. I think he can weather an early storm and either win on the cards, or potentially if Tala wants to continue blitzing forward and brawling, I could see him getting put out. There is a cause for concern here, as I have also seen I've seen the Kayev. I've seen him get controlled on the ground. He typically does not stay on his back. He gets up. He tries to get back to his feet, which I do like. But I've seen him controlled. I've seen him taken down. And if this Murtaza Tala guy wants to wrestle, he could have some success there. The thing is, he might not be prioritizing wrestling here. I think he's going to go out there. This is going to be a stand-up fight, pressure brawler versus technical striker. And I'm going to go with the technical striker in this matchup. He's a massive favorite. I'm pretty sure Tapology is pretty widely in unison on this pick as well. Sasurkayev, that's a tough one, man. Sasurkayev is a minus 375 favorite. So I'm not reinventing the wheel here with this pick, but it could be interesting to see what him by KO is. I would assume it's probably somewhere between plus 120, plus 140. And then we'll move to our next bout. We have Jimmy Drago and Ty Miller. This one could be fun. Ty Miller is a boxing style fighter. He uses straights very well. He has solid defense. He can grapple a little bit in his own respect, but if it was up to Ty Miller, this fight's going to stay on the feet. Jimmy Drago, he's a bit more of a wild card. He is also pretty solid. He likes to mix in wrestling. He likes to strike on the feet. He probably has a little bit more overall. He's not just a boxer. Ty Miller's more just a boxer. Jimmy Drago will throw everything at you, throw kicks, knees. He'll try to wrestle. I want to pick Jimmy Drago in this fight. First of all, he has a sick name and he looks cool. You know, he's a tough dude. Jimmy Drago is tough, gritty, but Ty Miller, I can't help but to think he's going to have a striking advantage here. I think he can keep the fight on the feet, and I don't want to say point fight, like he's not going to search for a finish, but I think Ty Miller will take it on the scorecards here. If I had to take a guess, if I'm looking to pick a bet, I think Ty Miller's probably the safer pick. But I would not be surprised if Jimmy Drago finds a way to get it done. He is a gritty dude. He's tough. And from what I've seen from him, I like Jimmy Drago a lot. Ty Miller as well. I like both of these guys. I think this one could be the fight of the night for tomorrow. But yeah, Ty Miller's the pick. And then we have the main event, Ilian Buafia and Nemias Santana. This fight here is going to be a banger. This one is probably going to end violently. Ilian... These guys, they're both big guys, lengthy strikers. They both have a lot of explosive striking. I think this one's probably going to end under 1.5. Ilian Buafia, he seemed like the cleaner striker to me. Maybe a little bit more defensively sound as well. I was watching some of Nemias Santana's fights, and the way he blitzes in, he throws absolute malicious, brutal strikes. But the way he throws, he leaves himself open a little bit, and I feel like the way Ilian Buafia fights, although he does throw malicious intention as well, I think he does a little bit better job of moving. And I could easily see either of these guys winning by knockout, but if I had to go with the safer pick, I think it's a guy who's more defensively sound. They're both dynamic strikers. They both carry a lot of power. They're both big, long, ayo. But Ilian Buafia is going to be the pick here. I believe he's a pretty wide favorite as well. He is sitting at, I have it right here, minus 250 to Santana at plus 185. So those are my picks. Typically, like I said, I like to do more research, but from what I was looking at, I think George Mangos is a good pick. Sasurkayev, obviously, he's probably the favorite pick of the week for everybody. Ty Miller and Jimmy Drago is going to be a close fight, but I just have to edge it out to Ty Miller based on his technical boxing skills. I think he'll be able to keep Jimmy Drago at bay with that straight right. And then Buafia, under 1.5 rounds. I think that's pretty solid as well, even though between those two guys in the main event, somebody's getting put out. It could easily be either of these guys. Also, a disclaimer again, Christopher Ewart is a very popular pick that I've seen. I'm picking Yuri Pamfarov just based on I saw some deficiencies in Ewart's grappling, and I think that's Pamfarov's strong suit. there's a chance that he can't even get his wrestling off and he ends up getting stuck on the feet. And if that does happen, he's probably getting put out. But he just looked like he was in good shape to me, man. Panfrov could be a sneaky underdog pick, but I could easily see Christopher Ewart winning that fight. So just be careful if you're betting. If I had to pick an underdog that is live, Jimmy Drago's live as well. Other than that, I see the favorites getting it done. George Mangos and Da Silva is a close fight, but like I said, cool, calm, collected striking and engaging in the grappling when necessary, especially catching Da Silva lacking on a spin. I think this is going to be a fun card. Week 1 of Dana White's Contender Series. I'm so happy we're back. It is 2:46 in the morning by the time I'm recording this. I just wanted to get something out there. I had a couple people asking, so I will be posting these clips on TikTok, and I'm looking forward to it. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get after it. Make sure to always bet responsibly. Always do your own research. And most importantly, have fun enjoying the fights. We're going to be back next week for Dana White's Contender Series Week 2 with a little bit more research, a little bit more prep time, but I just wanted to get something out for you guys. Appreciate the love. Throw a like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and I'll be back.